to the people that want to subscribe or want to join in as I learn to do this live sessions. I think that I can see if there be anybody that comes on. There's a little bit of glare. I'm using a little 5S iPhone right now. I'm away from the house, and I don't know how well this is going to do. My internet is out here in the woods, and I'm on the last of the line of going through a school and a couple other businesses, but my internet is very shoddy out here. So I'm going to give it a try on this. We're at the farm right here. It's a 30-acre farm. We do rabbits and raise rabbits, and we have chickens, and we just live out here normally. It's just an everyday life. It's no big deal. I don't. I myself is trying to learn to do this like all others, but I want to try to do a live session, if I may. So if you'll be patient with me in doing this, I can learn to do this, and maybe this will further my channel, YouTube channel. It's called Bromark Farms, and we just do an everyday thing. Because the internet is so poor out here, it seems that I can do 1 minute sections and load it up from out here. So that's what I've been doing. But I'm just trying to see how this will work out live out here and see how long my internet will last in doing so. There's nobody here to interrupt. The wife is out antiquing, like I said in the prior video, with 3 or 4 girls today. It's been a planned situation, so I'm taking advantage of this so that nobody interrupts and what have you, in case I do get to talking or do get to share things with people. I can answer some kind of questions if there's any kind of questions that come up, and I can answer to just questions about the farm and what we do if you have any questions. But we right now I'm processing. I have 29 meat birds, meat chickens. I'll be doing one half. We started out with 100 and ended up with 62, and now we're down to 30, I believe, 30 or 31. A friend of mine, Brother Wayne, is raising the other half, and at his house, and his is larger. His is almost twice as large as mine, and we're feeding them the same thing. So I went down to the feed store the other day and got some what's called Rooster Booster. It's a 12% game bird feed that is fed to the roosters with a 3-grain scratch. It has barley in it, and it has wheat in it, and it has cracked corn and Milo and that sort of thing in it. So I'm hoping that that might put a little bit of weight on them and what have you. So that's one thing we're doing. I've got 4 breeding does and a buck rabbit, which is the New Zealand breed, and I process them to eat them into for a few friends that like rabbit. And now I have 10 little babies. I have 5 that are 2 months old, and I have 5 that are a month old. And of course, I have probably 4 Belgium Reds running around, and a little lion-faced dwarf rabbit running around, and they're running around loose. A couple of them got out loose, and my wife Cindy liked the idea of them jumping around the barn. She thought that was kind of cute, so she asked if I could leave them out. So we've left them out, and they've been running around. They're pretty safe. Nobody bothers them. Although last night we were sitting in the house, and of course we were watching YouTube, and we heard coyotes in the back. And so I ran outside, got the 22 and snuck around and didn't see any that come up. No lights come on out here, so they didn't come close to the animals at all. I've got Ken the turkey. If you can see right here, he's over in the pen right there, and I fear coyotes getting to him, but he's pretty much secure in a fence there. Um, so nobody seemed to bother them. I've got a little makeshift thing here that I'm trying to hold up here. I don't have all that money for that expensive camera gear or stuff like that, so I try to piece things here and there. Oh, I have a GoPro, and I've purchased that, and I have a simple little tripod right here that I'm using, but I've adapted a piece of wood to it so I can put my little tripod up here to hold up here. But that's the best I do right there. So I started out doing this to see if I can do it as convenient as I could with what I had around the house and what have you. I would like to be able to improve my cinematography and get as good as those that I do watch on YouTube, because we have things that go on here. We raise animals, and of course we have a garden. I'm sitting behind the garden area here now, and if I can walk around and show you the things that I have, I'll do that. But I don't see that anybody has joined on. I can't tell whether, I don't know how to read this if it does happen. But we have projects that go on here. Of course, there's always something going on. You build a compost, or of course, in the background, you can see I've got a smoker that I've built. My brother come up from Florida and helped me put this together. So it's got it has a barrel in the back with a cold smoke with a 4-inch dryer tube going up in a vent in the floor if I want a cold smoke, and also inside it has a wood stove inside, so I can I guess hot smoke there. Last Thanksgiving we did 3 turkeys and 5 rabbits, and they turned out delicious, and we did good. And the folks said that they would like to do it again next Thanksgiving, what have you, for turkeys. But we did that, and of course, it's been a little slow this year because I've had some knee surgery. Back in September of 2017, I had a back surgery, something called a laminectomy, which they did something there to make my back not hurt anymore, and it was terrific. It worked out real well. I got to the point where I couldn't walk or what have you. And then that following February of 2017, I had, was it February? No, it was 2018. February of 2018, I had a right knee surgery. Of course, it was a partial surgery, partial knee replacement. But then in November, 2 days after Thanksgiving, I had a total replacement on my left knee. So that's kind of slowed me down. And you can hear Ken in the background. And Daisy's down there in the pond. She's a yelling too. She's a duck. We had 2 ducks about last week sometime in the night or early morning. Something came up out of the woods and got my male duck. But she's laid some eggs for me, and I have 2 in the incubator, and she's left 6 down in the nest. And I think in the next couple of days, after these 2 eggs in the incubator hatch, I'm going to candle the eggs down there in their nest to see if there's anything in it, and I'll incubate them out too. Just this morning, or last night, I went in and I had Miss Broody. She's a Wyandotte hen. She's in the nest brooding. She has sat on there for the full 20 days, 21 days. And of course, I think she gets down and eats, but I don't know for sure whether she does or not. But she has hatched out 3 little baby Wyandottes for me. We've had 5 eggs in there, and Braxton, the little grandson, he come down there and helped me mark the date on them. And sure enough, last night the first one hatched out, and I checked it this morning, and there was one that was just hatched out. It was still a little wet. And then I went to the feed store and came back this morning, and there's a third. So I have 3 little Wyandottes. They're about a day old now. I'd say probably not. 2 of them ain't a day old, but one of them is. And so that's exciting there. Here in the background, as you see right back here, by the smoker, I process my animals there, my rabbits there, and and we've processed goats there, and of course we've processed chickens there. Processed, I mean, you know, we've butchered and cleaned them and freezer packed them and put them in the freezer, and that's what we eat on that. That supplements our eating. Then over here, if I can show you right here, I don't know whether you can see clearly or not. There is pallets back there, and that's made to put pigs in. We've processed pigs before, and so we do that also. But here, once again, this project right here is to try to learn to go live, and if I see any kind of comments or anything come out, I don't know what happens to an iPhone or how if any chats or anything comes up. I don't know how that works. Let me see here if I can practice a little bit here, mess around a little bit. Um, um, okay, I don't know. I really don't know how this works out right here, but we'll have to look and see. Because I'm learning. I'm learning what I can do here. And of course, you know, I have a YouTube channel. I've probably been trying to do this for 2 years, and I'm just taking this a little bit at a time, trying to learn to do this. Editing has been very hard for me to learn. I try to use two type of editing processes. One, of course, is the elementary movie maker that's provided in the computer, and then there is another that I use. It's called Fast Cut. You have to pay for that and subscribe and would you activate it and that kind of thing. So I try to use that one too. So I use both of those and just learning how to do it. And I've tried to do the drone. I've wrecked two drones and tore two drones up. And I hate to spend like $1,700, $1,800, $2,000 for a drone and destroy it like I did these $200 ones. But until I guess I can buy $90, $100 drones all day long, destroy them all day long to learn how to fly them. But it seems like I'm not coordinated enough to do that machine, that handheld deal yet. So uh, I would hate to see me try to play PlayStation or something like that, or any other kind of video game, because I would surely probably wreck and kill myself or do something. I don't know, do some kind of harm. I It's pleasant around here. We got neighbors around, but they have to come across they'll have to cross a 10-acre wheat field and a 5-acre pasture and come up through 11 acres of woods. So and then we got a 900-foot driveway that goes up to the barn up there. So I would be have I would see neighbors or people coming in before they got to me here. So it's pretty quiet here. It's pleasant. There's no drama, hardly at all, until folks start coming in and doing things. We open up the farm to boondockers and RVers that are traveling. That's what we do. People who want to travel from Virginia or Florida to California, this is a good place on Interstate 40 to stop in and rest for a night or 2 nights. We've had some come in that's decided to stay 3 or 4 days. It's been fun. We did that starting last year. We've had a boondocker come in every month except for the summer months. The summer months, they kind of, well, winter is they come in through the summer. They have very slow, but it seems that springtime and fall time is the best time for boondockers to be traveling through. But we've had them go from Florida to Alaska, from Virginia to Arizona, from Massachusetts to Arizona, and it's been fun. It's been good visiting. And the reason I opened the farm up, or we opened the farm up to boondockers, was because my wife was interested in traveling in a travel trailer and restoring one of them old vintage travel trailers. And she'd asked me one day if I would like to do that, and I said, sure. I said, it's going to be a big project, but yeah, we can do that. That's a passion I've always had. And so her and I have joined in on the passion. We went to looking for an RV, and we found two. The first one we found was a 1969 Holiday Ramblerette. It had a boyfriend door, and it was, of course, 24, 25-foot long trailer, and then a travel trailer. Then right after that, I went around looking for another one to show her if I was trying to find one that was original so she can see what it looked like, because the one we had purchased had been gutted out. So in my looking, I found one, and it was set up on blocks and what have you. People had been living in it, but nobody had lived in it for like 5 or 6 years. So they just used it for storage. So they piled everything up: cardboard boxes, toys, camping stuff, and just stuff, that people collect and what have you. So it kind of protected everything. But people hadn't been living in it for 5 or 6 years, and people had been living in it for 5 or 6 years. But then 5 or 6 years later, it just laid empty and what have you. So we purchased that, and that's a project we got going on there. So if you can see that, that's what we're doing. That's a 1968 Holiday Rambler Traveler. It has a full bathroom in the back, and of course we're renovating that. We're in the process of, like anything else though, we're in the process of taking that out and what have you, and going over the appliances to see if they work. All the appliances work. The stove works, the furnace works, the refrigerator works, everything works. The range hood works, the vent in it works. The bathroom didn't work, but the bathtub is in perfect condition, and the vanity was in good condition. Had a little chip on the porcelain sink though, but we're going to repair that and what have you. But we're restoring this travel trailer back to its original shape or insides, except for the veneer that's been put on the outside. The wife didn't like the veneer. She wanted to wainscot it and put some kind of special bathroom siding or walls in it, what have you, for waterproofing or what have you. But we're at the point we're at right now. We've got it gutted out, and I'm trying to separate the box off of the trailer frame, so that way I can pull the trailer frame out from underneath the box, put the floor in, and put all the what do you call it, all the infrastructure in underneath, like the plumbing and the electric and that kind of thing. And then we'll put it back underneath, set the box on it, and then we'll start doing the inside of the box. But of course my knees and what have you slowed me down and what have you, so that's a project we got going on. Another thing we have going on is, of course, we have wood, because we have a wood stove, and we cut the wood off the property, and we had about 3 years ago, we had a guy come in to timber cutters, and they wanted to cut some big wood off of big trees off of it. So we cut the largest trees off of it, and we split the monies on that. And I told him, I said, just go ahead and leave the tops in it, and over the years I would just cut them down, and we'll split that up and use it for firewood. And that's what we're doing there with the firewood and what have you. We've got 10 acres up here of wheat, and this year, I think the 7th or 8th of April, we're going to plant again soybeans back in it again, and the wheat's in it now. We've turned the horses out on it now, and they've been eating on that for a week, and they're just loving it, having a good time. But we've done wheat another time, and then we did soybeans 2 other times. So this will be the 3rd time we'll do soybeans on it. What we're trying to do is we're trying to improve the land with the fertilizing and the lime and planting different things in it, so we can grow, have a better hay field, so we can have better hay. I use square bale hays because it's easier for me with my knees, and it's easier for my wife to tote and feed the horses and feed the animals and give bedding to the rabbits. And of course the rabbits eat hay too, but they provide the hay for the animals, and that's what we do in square bale. Every once in a while, probably about every 2 months, we'll buy a round bale through the winter time. I had a friend that wanted to put cattle out here for a year, and he had put 16 cows out here, and they had ate the grass down in 3 months, and I have not been able to recover since, because the grass was just totally ate. So I'm trying to grow that back. Next week, I think I will go down and get a half a ton of fertilizer and spread it on this 5 acres right here, and I'll do that, and And what else have I got going? The tractor. I've got an old 1979 or 79 or 80. That's what I kind of figured it is to the serial number on it. I've been working with that. We just changed the front hubs on it and greased them up, and I think I have a clutch issue, and I'm going to try to learn to adjust the clutch on that so I can get a little bit more years out of it. I hate breaking it in half because that is costly, so I'm not really prepared to do that. But when I get ready to do that, I guess it'll be time to do that. So I'm just trying to gather up as much as I can here to tell you about Bromark Farms. All we basically do right here is try to farm and raise our own food and what have you. I don't know how well my internet here is. So far, it's holding up. So I try to. I'm going to take you around, I guess, to show you some things, and then I guess I don't see anybody showing up or anybody saying anything or chatting or anything like that. It does say that I'm up there live. I've been on here for about 21 or 22 minutes right now, and just trying to explain everything there is. I don't know how well my internet will carry me or how far I can from the house, because of course you know that's where that comes in at, is the house. But let me just show you some things I got going on here, okay, what we're doing. I don't know if I'm 62 years old and been hacking at this now for 6 years trying to and establish something. We fed ourselves through the summer to the vegetables, and we fed ourselves for the past 6 years with the meat, with the pigs and the chickens and the cows and what have you. And we do a steer a year. This year I'm looking to buy a bovine so that I can raise it up on the grass and have a steer meat for the beef for this year. But have plenty of rabbits, have plenty of chickens, have the chicken's good. When you raise chicken out here on your own, it's good. It tastes a whole lot better than what it does in the stores. And I'm a diabetic, and so I have to control my diet and what have you. So, and that's an easy way, a good way of controlling your diet without having any kind of foolish preservatives or sugars or stupid stuff that's put in, that people put in to make their food look better for the grocery stores. For it's marketing reasons, I guess, and whatever, so they can make the money. I'm sure they're interested in feeding you, but they have to stay within rules of policy of food that's federally inspected and what have you to make any kind of money. So, but here we can grow our food, and we know what it is, and we know what it tastes like, and we know what's happening with it, and how it's fed, and how it's been taken care of, and how the animal's been treated so that it can be tame enough to where the meat doesn't taste so strange or what have you. But let me show you where we are with the garden. Let me show you where we are with the chickens and what have you. And I got corn out here where I've moved my chicken pen, and the doves come down and eat the corn. I don't know whether you can eat dove or not, but they look pretty fat. But I'll show you around what we got right in here. Is the central location around the house and what we do here. So let me try to get up and walk around a little bit here. This is my garden area right here. Of course, we're at the beginning of spring. It's not warm enough to really to plant anything, so but I am trying to prepare. Here's the grapes that I've started right here. I'm just learning to do grapes. I planted them last year, so this will be the second season, growing season of them. There's the old trailer right there that we're working on. I got her working on it, and we're pulling some trash out of it and what have you. Here's some beds I made. I built these beds right here. My brother Benjamin helped me build these beds because of my knees. I couldn't get on the ground or what have you. I've got the onions out here. These onions have been here now probably 2 weeks in this little garden right here. I got red onions. I got 20 red onions, and I got 30 white onions. So I'll need to water them today, and I want to put some bone meal on them. I had garlic grown this year, and I think I'm going to grow garlic in this year. I'll cut the top off of this so these weeds will be out of here. But here's my strawberries. I planted strawberries last season for the first time, and I was surprised in how well they spread. I didn't know strawberries spread, so I'm learning there. I got rabbit manure all put in there, and that's what we're doing here. I've set these tomato cages out here because this is where I'm going to plant my 4 tomatoes. 4 tomato plants usually do us well. We can and store for the year. Here I've got a bed right here. I've got rabbit manure and soil thrown in that. I got rabbit manure in here. It's been raining on it and it's worked up pretty well. And here I've started some seeds right here. I was trying to do something here. I've seen people on YouTube doing plastic stuff and all that good stuff, so I thought I'd try to do this to warm it up a little better. It's helped out some, but let's take a peek and see what's happening here. I know what they mean by trying to do this one-handed. Yeah, okay, let's look and see. Well, I got sunflower seeds right there, watermelons right there. I got lettuce, and I got some broccoli and cabbage and what have you planted in here, so looks pretty good so far. I'm glad they're coming up. It took a while. It took about 3 weeks for them to come up, but we'll separate them out, and I'll put the watermelons, what have you, in the 91 by 81 foot garden. I've got some beds of mulch over there to plant them in. And there's Daisy, the duck. She's made it up. Let's go around and see if we can't get to another spot right here without the internet running out. There's Daisy Duck. Hey, Daisy. How you doing? Oh, here's the meat chickens. They are a month old. These are 30 days old right here. So I think we're doing pretty good with them. We've got a good little place for them to be. They're good size. And that's where they live, back in there. For 2 nights now, the evenings have been warm enough for me to leave them open. So let's go see how far we can get from the internet without losing you, okay? But, that's what we do. There's my garden area, of course, and of course there's the house. And here's my processing area right here. It's not, some folks have got enough money to build an outside kitchen, but I don't. There's my smokehouse, inside my smokehouse, and we smoke in here. Got to be cleaned up a little bit before I use it again. Have a little analog thermometer right there to work with, and I have a digital thermometer that I work with right there. And now here's our cold smoke system right here. Right here's where we process the chickens. But here's our cold smoke system right here. That works real well. Here's my sink. It's ran off with the water hose right here. This has got to be cleaned up from the winter. I need to clean it, scrub it down. And there's my water line, or my drain line. And here's the process tables right here. And this is where we put the scalding water right here. So, so far it's working pretty good, isn't it? I think so far I've not lost the internet, so it does show I'm live. And there's our processing area right there. So let's go down here and look at the chickens, see what we got. See if we can go inside, see the little bitty chickens. The ones that are a day old. There's Ken the turkey. Yeah, okay. Here's my turkeys. Here's my chickens, rather. I got one Leghorn. She's about 6 years old. I keep her around because she was the original chickens that I bought. And there's a Rhode Island Red that's probably 6 years old. But I got some Red Rangers out there, and I'm trying to go with Wyandottes. That's what most of them are out there, is Wyandottes. So we'll see what's going on there. Okay, let's go up inside the chicken. Well, here's the little brooder house right here where I'll transfer the little baby chickens over into once they get old enough to separate from mama. There's my compost I've been working on over the period of 4 or 5 years. So we just built it up, so that'll shrink down through the summer and what have you as it heats up. But it turns into real good dirt. And there's my chicken house I built 6 years ago. It's 8 by 8. It does well. So let's go up inside here. We got me a latch right here so the enemy from the other side of the fence don't get in. Okay, oh, my knees. Okay, might be kind of dark in here. There's a chicken laying right there. She's laying me an egg. And there's Mama. There's a mama chicken. So she's got. Let's see if I can get a baby up out of there. Oh, it's a little baby. I'm not perfected this hole yet. I get my sleeve caught up in here. There's a baby. That's a little Wyandotte baby right there. See? Ain't it pretty? Yeah. It's a pretty bird. Huh, Mama? Yeah, that's Broody. Miss Broody. She's always been a brooder. Ever since I've had her. She's from the first batch of Wyandottes I bought. Okay. And this is what the inside of it looks like. We've got a roost right here. And we all get up in here and it looks like a choir. But there got me a little Red Ranger right there. She's laying an egg. We feed her. And of course I got feed and water in there for him. Oh, she's eat quite a bit. Yeah. Okay. That was full. Just an hour ago that was full. Okay. Got an egg in here. One egg. Yeah, so that's the chickens, and that's the little hole they come in and out of. Of course, I'm just learning how to do this myself, so I'm just going at what I thought. What you do that makes sense. That's a lot of it's logic, I think, and taking care of the animals, because when you pin them up, they kill themselves, so you've got to feed them, take care of them. And we feed them some table scraps and stuff like that. And plus I feed them the corn, scratch corn and what have you. So I think they're pretty happy. They're not trying to jump the fence and run out or anything like that. And of course we'll go by. We got squirrels running everywhere. I got corn everywhere. That's why they like it. Well, this is our original pig pen right here that we had. And there's Ken the turkey. There's Ken. Hello, Ken. Pretty bird. Pretty bird. Here's the pig pen that we use. This section right here is made for the sows that have babies. Of course, it's separated. We'll feed her over there and what have you. And then, as they get separated, they come over here, and we put them in this pen right here. Now, this is something I learned on the YouTube, is using pallets to keep them. But you see what happens? They dig out from underneath it in the ground erodes, and it all falls in. So we've got to straighten this up, and I think I'll put an electric fence around it on the inside this time to control the pigs. There's Ken. Ken's a red bourbon, and we're going to get him a few hens. Springtime's coming. I'd like to let him loose. But there's Daisy Duck. Hello, Daisy. How you doing? Okay. It seems that the internet's staying pretty good. We'll see how well this does. If it'll upload and that kind of thing. I really don't know what's going on here as far as I'm doing. Well, here's the Holiday Rambler. It's all original. It's aluminum framed. See, it's built like a Airstream. See, it's all aluminum framed. Strong aluminum. And this is, of course, what I've tore out. This is the couch area that goes in this area right here. But this is what it looks like on the inside after it's been gutted. See? So, me being an electrician, we'll go through here and put solar panels on it and bring all the electric back and that kind of thing. And but I don't have anybody showing up, I don't think, unless I don't know how to do that. But it's new to me, so if you get this at a later time, if it does load up and you get this at a later time, go ahead, give me some comments or make some suggestions, or just let me know how I'm doing or what's going on, okay, so I can know what's going on out there in the world out there. I'm on YouTube. Y'all aren't. Y'all are out there in the world.
But here's the, look at this. It's really funny how you plant something out. There's nothing that you see in the ground. You put mulch down and you try to design something. Miss Cindy's got tulips coming up. Looks good. We planned them out like that. And of course we dug a couple rows. And this is a bench that I made between two trees that are rotten now. But that wood, that stayed in there for 6 years. Got us a fishing pond down there. We can fish in. It's full of brim and full of bass. And I just go down there and fish. If I want to fish or eat a bass or for dinner or something, I just go down there and catch me a fish, and we'll eat there, what have you. And, here's the house. And of course, we want to choose Jesus. Choose Jesus. He's the only way that'll bring peace and happiness and love to your life. And here's the walkway. We're going into the house. Here's the backyard. And there goes another squirrel. And over there, I don't know whether you can see in the field or not, but I have a miniature donkey over there with, he's got his own little shed. Then I've got a shed over here to do gardening tools and things like that. And right over there is where I'm going to plant my watermelons and corn and beans and sunflowers and what have you. I'll go in the garage here and show you the stuff that's come out of the travel trailer, and then we'll see what we can do from there. Turn the lights on in here so we can see. I don't know whether YouTube chastise me or not, but my radio's on. There's all the furniture, all the walls, all the dressers, all the drawers, counters, vanity, everything that's come out of the travel trailer that we're going to put right back in. Everything's going to be original. There's the stove. There's the rings that go in the stove. There's the furnace. There's the refrigerator right there. So I'm going to get out of here as fast as I can. That way YouTube doesn't chastise me for that radio in the background. So thank you so much. Of course, again, men, if you pick a good wife, she'll help you out. Okay. Alrighty. I think for an hour or 45 minutes or whatever would be long enough to try this out and see. I might have picked the wrong time during the day, but let's give you an overall look. Those that boondock, those that belong to boondockerswelcome.com, those that belong to Harvest Host, you're welcome anytime to come in and join us in the farm life. Now's a good time to come because we'll be planting here in the next month. So if you want to learn to plant or do anything, come on in. Stop in. Stop in any given time. We'll take you around slow. Show you how pretty everything is. Very peaceful here. Folks like come and stay here. The Phoenix Ramblers came in, stayed on the holiday weekend of Labor Day, and they end up staying for 4 days. They had a good visit. It was quiet. Everybody that comes loves it here because it's far away from everybody and they can rest. So if you belong to boondockerswelcome.com or you belong to Harvest Host, go ahead and come in and stay with us. We'll enjoy your visit. You can tell Miss Cindy about your rig and what you're doing. And uh-oh, looks like somebody showed up. Keto Michelle. Hello, Keto Michelle. We're still doing keto. I've lost 37 pounds, whether you can tell it or not. I feel good. My sugars are low, and they're working real well. Everything's working real well. And thank you very much, Keto Peoples, for showing up and teaching me about keto. I would say it saved my life, but the Lord saved my life, amen. So let's see if we can't get set back up here again the way I was. Of course, I'm just a simple fella here. Simple man. I'm not simple-minded. I work pretty logically and simply. Everything, let me sit down in my chair right here. There we go. Somebody else has showed up here too. Oh, well, no, it's keto. Oh, good. Oh, well, good. I'm glad too. I'm good. I feel great. 62 years old and knee operations and doing keto. Keto's wonderful.
especially if you live on a farm, because everything is there. The vegetables, the meat, everything. Bacon is my friend. Everything I cook is in bacon grease. Everything I cook is with bacon. I've learned so many recipes. Of course, I like to cook too, but I've learned recipes by eating keto, because there's things that when you eat, you start missing other things, and you learn to make the bread, you learn to make the crust, you learn to make the pies, you learn to make the desserts, the cookies, the chocolates, that kind of things that you miss. But you know what? Sugar's no good. Sugar destroys you. It really does. Glucose, sugar is just, it's it's no good for you, and it takes a long time to learn that. But until you do keto, get rid of the sugar, and learn, I'll tell you the best thing that's happened to me since I quit eating sugar. Oh, I fell over. Oh, I got to get a better situation here. I thought that would work out. But let's see what I can do here. Hope y'all didn't feel that, did you? Did you belly go silly like you do over a hill fast in the car? Okay, look at here. The inflammation that's in your elbows and in your shoulders and your knees, that inflammation that's in your muscles and your joints, absolutely goes away when you quit eating sugar. Absolutely. I feel so much better. I'm able to move. I'm able to put my hands up over my head. I could never do that before because I just, the sugar. Just, anyway. So, yes, having a garden and having your meat. And that's what keto was so easy. That's how it was so easy, because I started in September 22nd of last year, and at the time we were harvesting our garden, and we were processing animals, and it worked out great. It was easy to slide into it. It just became a lifestyle, and it's fun. And I'll tell you what, when I sneak off and get an oatmeal cookie or a Hostess cupcake or something, I feel the difference within about 6 or 8 hours. That inflammation comes back. I feel the difference, and I have to stop. And I have to stop eating all day, all night long, just for it to work its system out. And I'm very grateful to keto. And those that push keto or try to promote it and coach us through it, I watch all the time, Miss Michelle. I enjoy what you're doing. I'm inspired, and I tell everybody about keto. Some people say it's no good for you, but you know what, man? Some people like the color crayon blue, and some people don't. You know, some people like color crayon red better, and some people don't. But you know, it's to each his own. But I'm telling you, sugar is no good. And I'll tell you, while we're talking about food and what have you, those that are diabetics and you have a problem, diabetes is not a disease. It's the addiction to eating sugar is the disease. Sugar, it's the diet. You need to stop eating sugar, and you'll save your life. You really will. You really will. And I'm so glad that somebody has showed up. I did. They do show up. They show up right down here at the bottom of the screen. I'm excited. So, because Keto Michelle showed up at this live trial, or this live experiment was a success and is a success. So I'm going to end right here, because I took you around and showed you what it was, and if those that have come on late are interested in it and show up, we got a helicopter coming by. Let's see if it's red. There's a red helicopter that flies around and controls the what they do is they're the forestry, and what they do is they control the hogs, the wild hogs that are, I guess they're from up here. They're all north of us up here. I'm 4.5 miles north of the Interstate 40 in Crosswood, Tennessee, and they're all flying around up in here all the time. And I hear people talking about how the red helicopter comes through and controls the hogs and what have you. Of course, it's done by the forestry and what have you, and animal control, and that's what they do. They just destroy the farmland up here. That's what I hear. Then in Florida, we used to go out and chase pigs and chase them with dogs and hunt them down, and butcher them and eat them and that kind of thing. Roast them. I had good pig roast, and that's what I need to do here. I need to do a pig roast here and invite people. Just do it. Yeah. Okay. Keto Michelle, thank you for showing up. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate you, and keep helping us. Keep helping us control our diets. And for those that stopped in or are going to watch this later, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for 86 subscribers that I have. And I'm just trying to promote my channel here and let you know more about what we go on to do right here. I am a Christian. I am a conservative Christian. I read the King James. I take it literally. If you have any questions about the word or not, about Jesus or anything, you're more than welcome to chime in. But we don't want to make this a biblical session. We can. It's very possible. I can go get my Bible and sit down and answer questions for you if you like. I am an ordained Southern Baptist pastor, preacher, evangelist, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. We can talk about animals, talk about turnips, we can talk about carrots, we can talk about birds, but we can talk about everything you want to talk about on Bromark. It's a very free place right here, and no condemnation whatsoever. Whoever you are, where you're at, no condemnation. Okay? Thanks again for stopping in at Bromark Farms this day. It's the longest session I've ever done on a live session, and it's been fun. And I hope you stop in again and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if this is okay for you. Give me a thumbs down if you don't like anything about it. But if you're going to give me a thumbs down or give me a thumbs up, just write a little comment in about there what it's about. Okay? And I appreciate you. Okay, what's Keto Michelle here saying? Oh, it went away. I don't catch it fast enough. I get one that comes up and I have to pop it. I got to go back and look at it and see what's going on. I don't know how to. Let me see if I can make this show up. Well, let's see. I don't know how to make them visible. Well, anyway, if I go back, or I'm able to go back and look and see what you said there about your dad, I'll Miss Keto, I will put your dad on the prayer list. I don't know his name, just Dad. So I'll put on there Keto Michelle's dad on the prayer list, and I'll pray for him. Okay? And thank you all for stopping in. I love you. Appreciate you. Remember this. The Lord God is trying to conform us to be like his son. That's his main objective. And there's nothing hard to it about. Just read the word and see what he says and do what the word says. Learn to walk in that spirit. It's a discipline. And if you even get the notion in your heart that he's calling upon you, go to him. That's what he said. Come unto me. Okay? Thank you so much. I love you. Thanks for stopping in. Now, how do I stop this? Huh. How does it end? I never thought about ending it. Huh.